A warm welcome to Added Time, the transfer deadline day special. I'm your host, Stuart Palmer, and my guest today is Mike, Mad Dog Angus. How's it going, Mike?
Hey, Stu, how you getting on? Great to see you, buddy. Very excited for transfer deadline day this evening. We've had a few transfers already. There's stuff still going on all over the country. I was just watching a moment ago. Harry Redknapp's been stuck in terrible traffic. He's not going to make it here to my studio today, unfortunately. He stopped off at somewhere else, and then, he got caught on the M4. He was on his way from Bournemouth to Reading. He's all over the show. Harry hasn't got a clue what's going on today, but hopefully we'll have him on the show next year. We'll see what happens. Stu, how are you?
Oh, you're looking very dapper, Michael. You could be in studio with them on Sky Sports, I reckon. I'm looking like Klopp, which is a bad thing being a blue. But you are looking dapper, my friend. You look very, very sharp this evening.
A yellow tie on for transfer deadline day.
Perfect, man.
I'm ready for it, buddy. I'm ready for it.
So, with Liverpool, how do you feel with the business today? The two defenders in, Kabak and Davis. How are you feeling about them two additions to the squad, mate? What are your thoughts and feelings on that one first and foremost?
Well, straight away, much needed. Obviously, our defence has been makeshift all season. We've had 20 different pairings in defence, and you know what? I think they've done a great job as defending champions, and playing these matches with missing our main man, Virgil van Dijk. It's been tough, and we have had a makeshift defence, but they've done the best they can. But I think Klopp definitely needed to bring a couple of people in just to shore it up, and also to get that midfield back again, because taking our midfielders back into defence has cost us slightly this season. In a couple of matches where we've lost the engine room and we haven't had that power, especially in matches against people like Newcastle and the Southampton match. There was just a couple of games there where we just couldn't get past the finish line and get them wins that we needed, and that's what got us 7 points behind Man City at this stage of the season. Looked a lot better in the last two matches against West Ham and Tottenham. But, Stu, there's a lot of time left in the season yet. Anything could happen. And there's people beating each other all over the show. So, we'll just have to see what happens. And, defenders is the sure way to shore up your defence. I know that's for definite.
It's a tale of two clubs here. Everton can't get Josh King over the line. So we let Tozen go. It leaves us with one recognised striker. Anthony Gordon could be going. I'm not sure if that's been confirmed yet. But if we haven't got Josh King in, I just do not understand. Because Anthony Gordon can play a couple of positions, but how the heck are Everton fighting it out with Fulham for Josh King? Why didn't we just get this sorted weeks ago? Typical Everton, this is down to the wire. Come on.
I've been watching it with interest today as the blue side of Merseyside has been losing it over Facebook and social media, especially. You've sent. Where's your striker gone, Stu?
Tozen's gone to Besiktas, gone back to Turkey. So. It's just,
and is that a sale or a loan?
He's gone on loan. John Joe Kenny's gone up to Celtic. I understand that because defence. Yeah. Look at our defence. Seamus Coleman is slowing down, but when he's fit, Kenny can't get in. Kenny can't get in at right back. Coleman's second, goes in there. I don't understand it. I do not understand it in regards to the striker situation. I don't know what is going on.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin's done great for you this season, but he's up there on his own, isn't he? That's the thing.
And the problem is, Richarlison, he can play there, but he's been ineffective as the striker. We need him out wide. He's short of form. I don't get it unless something happens in the next 50 minutes or so. If they can maybe get him in, because Josh King scored goals for Bournemouth. I've seen a lot of the fans saying on the socials, he's no good. He's got quite a good strike rate in the Premier League. It's nearly one in 3 games, and that was in a Bournemouth team. Do you know what I mean? I think it's unjust from the Everton fans there if he was to come in. I know we're fighting it out, but I would see him as a decent addition, and it'd take the pressure off Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who's not in form in terms of league form. 7 league games without a goal. So it's just iffy to me, Mike. I think Carlo does know what he's doing, but today I'm a bit shocked, if I'm honest. It's gone down to the wire, and they've not sealed the deal.
I was surprised to see Kenny leave because I know a couple of the lads around here who support Everton rave about him. Really enjoyed his playing, especially last season. And then they've sent him up to Celtic, have they, Stu?
So he was at Schalke last year, so he had the year there. They were very happy with him there. But I just don't think if when Ben Godfrey hasn't been playing, Coleman goes in, and Coleman is winding down, but he has not put Kenny in ahead of Coleman as cover. It's the second string right back. So I understand that. Benny Benigamy as well might be going to Derby. Rooney, I've heard about that one. That'd be a good move for him. Anthony Gordon, I think he needs game time, but the way things are going, we're gonna have to keep hold of him, Mike, because we're just short. We're just short at top. It's alarming. It's alarming on my end as a fan that we haven't sorted it out. You couldn't, as bad as Tosin's been indifferent with his form, we should have kept hold of him if they haven't got the replacement in. It's nonsensical, man.
It certainly is. They must have something planned, and you've got 53 minutes left to do some big business here. I'm watching it out of the corner of my eye. I've got everything going on as well. So I'm keeping a close eye on it for you, mate, as well. So the other thing I've noticed as well, Wayne Rooney's doing big business, isn't he, at Derby? He's brought in a player from Manchester United. And you say he's taking someone from yourselves as well? He
wants, I think that's been done now with Benny Benigamy. He made it. He's had some first team games for us last season, and he's been in the under 23s. He's 22 now, so it's a bit of a make or break time for him. But the lad needs games. Wigan have sniffed around him before now. I know that, but Rooney probably knows him from when he was at Everton. He probably knows him, to be fair. So when he came back for the second stint, so yeah, just let's see. That's it at the end of the day. And coming up, we've got the weekend roundup now as well, Mike. We're going to go through the results over the weekend. I think
big weekend of footy, Stu.
Big weekend for you guys. To be fair, back on the winning trail. Are you happy, Mike?
Back in there. Yeah, certainly. We've got the scores there appearing on the screen, but we can run through all those. We might as well start with the first game of the weekend I watched, which was Everton playing Newcastle. Stu, what did you think of that matchup? I spoke to you briefly while the game was taking place, and Newcastle looked a lot better than they have in recent games, I thought.
Just the first half, Mike, I've got to be honest with you, we weren't too bad. Second half, it was dire. It was awful. And no disrespect to Newcastle. They played to a system. They counted us. Callum Wilson could have had that trick. He put one wide. He was fantastic for him. But that's 6 points Newcastle had taken from us, and they've been on a dire run prior to that. I know you've got to stop the rot at some time. Unfortunately, it was against us, but we didn't give them anything in the second half. It was late on, the last 5 minutes, a couple of half chances up in the box, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough, and he's got to sort it out. But we've got 2 away games now. We've got Leeds, we've got United coming up. We're better away. We've got the 3rd best record in the league away. So it's just it's a bit of an odd time, but other than City at the moment, everyone's been a much of a muchness for me.
That striker Wilson he was looking on fire on Saturday lunchtime, wasn't he?
When he's fit, because he's had injuries. I remember him coming through at Coventry years ago, and I know he's had injury issues at Bournemouth. But whenever he was on that pitch for Bournemouth, he's always a threat. He'd be high on the career goals without the injuries. Definitely, he's brilliant. They were good at the back. And I tell you 2 other issues. Mason Holgate should have started, and Ben Godfrey should have been in the back line. He should have kept that back line the same. He started tinkering with it. No disrespect. I've told you about Coleman a couple of days ago. He's finished. It's gone. I think after that injury a couple of years ago, he's just off the pace. We need Holgate and Godfrey, although they naturally centre backs. They've been brilliant playing at fullback either side of one another. And I'd push Luca Dean further up, I think. Keep him on the wing again, So I personally was not a fan of Luca Dean at the weekend, as I mentioned to you. I thought any balls that were coming to him, he was losing possession too easily, and it was just a dead end for me in that match. But obviously you're a big fan, watching carefully there. And I'm looking forward to seeing you when you have Alan back in the team. I think he's your main man. I think he's a bit of a linchpin for the team. And what's he done for charity this week, Stu? I saw some great stuff. His son has alopecia. So he's done, he's bicked his head as well, for his son. It was touching. It's the little things, isn't it, outside of football sometimes. So yeah, we need him back. He's got a hamstring. Decore can only do so much. There's a few misplaced passes here and there. Allen will just shore it up at the back. But I would be inclined, if we did get Josh King, big if at the moment, I'd go 2 up top. Mike. Once Allen's fit, I think it could be Decore and Allen. In the centre, maybe try that out. I think we might have to try a few things, see how we get on in the next couple of games. But results depending. It's just 1 point playing Leicester and Newcastle. Not happy in the slightest. But,
Stu, just to let you know, you're a great interviewer. I've seen you work a lot interviewing wrestling superstars from around the world. A big chance coming up for you now because there's a special guest coming into the studio. So I'll just... All right. So next fixture. What was the next fixture, Stu?
I'd say the result that was a miss, Mike, for both teams. West Brom and Fulham drawing. To get themselves back in the hunt, trying to get our relegation. I just. That's a missed opportunity. That was the result that stuck out for me on Saturday after our shambles. So,
I want to talk about Crystal Palace, Stu. Come on,
Crystal Palace. It was a good win, but Wolves haven't been right since Jimenez has been injured. It's got to be said, Mike. Roy.
I'm keeping Benteke.
Are you?
I'm keeping him.
Well. How about City beating Sheffield United as well? Can't believe that. No,
got to be expected.
No Cancelo. No. I'm trying to think now. No Stones at the back. He changed the back line. I thought that was going to be a hammering beforehand. It surprised me, but win's a win. They got the 3 points. So.
But Sheffield United had only just beat Man United earlier on in the week and had a really good showing, and then. City coming. I was intrigued to see what would happen, but City just sort of eased their way through to that 1-0 victory, didn't they? There, so
I think with Sheffield United, if they'd have finished a lot of chances in the games that they've had, they won't be in the situation they were. There's been games there. I remember it was David McGoldrick missing a few chances. Moose when they do play Billy Sharp. I just think if they had someone a bit more clinical. I don't think they'd be in the mess they were in because a lot of the games they've played have been tight. Really, when you look at it, it's just it needed goals. I tell you what, though, Jagielka's been playing at the back as well. I think if you've got two younger players either side of him as 3 centre backs, he's all right. You got that veteran at the back, haven't you? But you've got players with pace beside him. But yeah, they're gonna struggle to get out of it now, I think. And also West Brom and Fulham. That's 2 points dropped for both of them there.
Both of them, exactly, yeah.
One of them had to win that, Mike. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's a missed opportunity. That when you're in that battle, and now that, Brighton went on Sunday beating Spurs, which I would say was the result of the weekend, because that's got Brighton right out of it now. And Newcastle beating us as well. That's got them right out of it. So I see that bottom 3 how it is now. What do you think?
Well, the pack are really pulling away, aren't they?
Yeah,
and I think it's one of them. They cause themselves havoc. If you just look at it there, where Brighton potentially could fall into there if Fulham get a good run on the go. Fulham were looking good for a couple of games, but they just didn't get the results, did they?
Look how many draws they've had, Mike, as well. If a couple of them were a couple of wins, it's fine margins with these clubs. It's the hardest league in the world, top to bottom, isn't it? At the end of the day. All right, take the Championship out of that. Pound for pound, that's the hardest league to get out of. But in Europe, the best leagues in Europe, it's the best league in Europe. You don't have the depth that the Premier League has. But
yeah, and this season's like none other, to be fair. It literally is so competitive. When Leeds won the other day, it literally moved them within 7 points of top of the league, and they're in 11th or something like that. So
it's just
crazy stuff.
It's just. I'm just looking there now. See, United and Arsenal 0-0. I wouldn't have said that prior to the game. I know United obviously lost midweek, Sheffield United, but I was surprised by that one.
Yeah, Sonny can't be happy about that one at all, because I know he was there
to keep, that was to keep the pace up with City. That because City have started, the last 5 or 6 games, City have been fantastic, haven't they? They've been picking them wins up, and I struggle. I think United must look at that now. What 1 point in 2 games? That needs sorting out, doesn't it?
That was a bad. We had that bad spell, didn't we?
Yeah.
Coming out of December, and they're having a bad spell now to to have a draw, a loss, draw on the run. That's not good enough if they are going to be challenging for the title. And I think we're 1 point behind them now, aren't we? So hopefully move ahead of them this week, next weekend coming up.
It depends what City do with this game in hand, because if they win that game in hand, bar your results and United's results, that could be a 6-7 point gap.
But big fixture coming up on Sunday, Stuart. 4 o'clock is Liverpool versus City, which is going to be really interesting. If we can turn the screw on them there and get back some of them points, that'd be great. And we're both playing midweek as well. I believe we've got Brighton and they're playing Burnley. So a couple of interesting games there, because I can't see City dropping that many points now between now and the end of the season.
I don't want to jinx it for the City fans, but I think they've had their bad patch. If you look at it, it was draws. It was them draws. They were drawing a lot of games. They've only lost 2. The draws can kill you. You know what I mean? If you win one, lose one, it's always going to be better than a draw. That's the way I look at it. But I think maybe they have. But you're coming out of your bad patch now. So
that's it.
Could be very tasty. You've got to pick the points up, especially when you play United and City. You're going to have to win, aren't you? You're going to have to win them games, I think.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Stu, what was your opinion on Villa and Southampton? That was a really interesting game. Did you get a chance to catch that at all?
I didn't, to be honest with you, Mike. I didn't. I'd only seen the result.
Because Southampton had a penalty dispute right near the start of the game where Matty Cash handled the ball in the penalty area, and VAR took a long look at it, and then it had hit him on his leg and bounced up onto his arm, so it wasn't given as a pen. And then obviously against the run of play, I would say, Barkley headed home and scored a decent goal for Villa to make it 1-0. And then went right the way through to the end of the game. Southampton were putting a bit of pressure on. And right near the end, Danny Ings scored a decent goal, and it was disallowed for offside. And it was literally another VAR one, but it was the old arm. Like literally in a past season, he was onside, but just that arm of his was offside. They're saying that it's from the top of the arm, aren't they? If that's offside, it's offside. And he was pointing again, so disallowed. So
it needs work.
Contentious result there.
It needs work. It's going to need work during the summer, this VAR, because there's so many contentious decisions even now. They need to work on it and they need to get it sorted. And look how many different things have happened now. You've got to believe when they get them all in during the summer, and it'll be they're gonna have to get it sorted, mate. This is no good.
Exactly. It just needs to clarify the rules. There's times when one thing will get given, and then you watch the next match and it won't get given. Yeah. And it's like, why on earth is that the case?
That's the same. But it's like you say, they just go off on an absolute tangent with it, don't they? So
that's it. Yeah. Malarkey going on. Big game that I watched the weekend was Leicester versus Leeds. Now that was a cracking match, I thought. And Leeds, back to the form they showed earlier on in the season, we're looking blistering against Leicester, and Leicester really looked toothless in this one. I thought they scored early on. Barnes, another great goal, but then the commentator really talked Leeds into a goal there, because he was saying the exact lines on the commentary, Stu. I don't know if you heard it. He goes, "Oh, Leicester, when they go 1-0 up, they don't go, 100% winning record from that point. So Leeds are really asking for trouble here." And Stuart Dallas is in our goal and he scored.
The thing I don't get with this, right? Why is Kelechi Iheanacho on the bench? Ayoze Perez has never been prolific. He's played out wide for Newcastle. They've got him as the front man. Barnes and Maddison are doing brilliant. To be fair, with Vardy not being there, I know as a free they've been superb. They linked up well. I would be playing Kelechi Iheanacho if I was Rodgers. I do not get it. I tell you what though, Mike. One guy who's really, really surprised me because he hasn't done it at the top level when he's been here before, Patrick Bamford. I didn't think he cut the mustard at Premier League level. He's always scored goals at Championship level, quite prolific. He's proved a lot of doubters wrong. He obviously, he works for Bielsa in that system. Something's just twigged with him. He's been absolutely fantastic. Assists, goals. I go back to what I said earlier. Everyone in that sort of area of the table is much of a muchness. On their day, they can beat each other. Look, Southampton, as we were saying before, Southampton, they're not picking results. Leicester have lost. I know they're up there. Tottenham, they're very much like Everton, I find. There's not the consistency.
They are hit and miss, Stu. They are hit and miss. Just going back to Bamford, that goal he scored, a couple of my mates, Jack and Johnny, big fans of Leeds, and that the chat was going off when Bamford buried that one because it was top bins. Did you see that goal?
I did, yeah.
Absolute belter. Yeah. And then he as well probably could have scored the third goal, but instead opted to square it to his teammate and, with a really good assist there as well. So, it was a cracking game for Bamford. So, and Leicester as well, dropping points. What have you got?
My cousin in the comments, Fabrizio Romano, who covers a lot of it on Twitter. Now, my cousin has told me, he says, you gotta when I'm bringing these in, you gotta pull them up. So now Josh King is gonna sign for Everton, but he says sometimes with Fabrizio Romano, you have to take it with a pinch of salt, Michael. But
that's it. I've still got him on my sheet as Everton Fulham with the arrows. So the info's coming through as we're going.
They've got to get it sorted. Because otherwise, we're gonna. I do not know what's going to happen with us. But just
seeing the news there, Stu, as well. Sorry about Matip. Going to be out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury. Joel has been plagued with injuries since arriving at Anfield.
That's ideal that he's got this lad from Schalke in, and he's got Davis, mate, hasn't he? I tell you what, Mike, he wouldn't let Neco Williams go either, would he, today?
That was interesting. A couple of my friends on the football team group there were saying that they wouldn't let Neco Williams go. They are, however, looking at letting Minamino go to Southampton, I've heard.
What do you think on that one, though, Mike? What are your thoughts and feelings with him going?
He hasn't. He's got great potential, but when he's been playing for us, unfortunately, he hasn't quite turned it into the footballing ability we know he's got. He's struggled in matches, and when he has been given chances, he's looked pretty quiet. He's had a couple of games where he's played okay. There was one earlier this season where he scored, but he's been a bit quiet. He's not been what we were hoping for. But my concern is he'll go to Southampton and suddenly he'll be a world beater and take 3 points off us again.
Are those two lads going to start for you? What do you reckon? Or are they going to be benched and then does he bring them in? I'm just wondering, like Kabak at 20. I know he's been playing for Schalke. But Davis at 25, he's got a lot of experience at Preston. Do you see them being on the bench to start with? Or is he going to throw straight in?
I think he's going to play one or both of them, to be honest. So the Kabak's the Turkish lad. How old is he? 20 years old, is he?
20. But he's been playing for Schalke. He was at Stuttgart as well. He came through Stuttgart, so he has been playing. He's been getting games in the Bundesliga. So he obviously sees something in him, Mike, and it's that German connection, isn't it?
They've paid what was it, 3 million euros? Was it confirmed earlier that they've to sign him to a loan deal with the option of buying him in the summer for 80 million? Did I hear? Is that correct?
18.
I think that's what I heard earlier.
I think he said 80 then. I was like, no, he said 80. Yeah. So test him out on this loan, and then it's the way it's got to be, Mike. Because the clubs have been absolutely hammered financially. So these loan deals, they've got to do it at the moment. That's why it's been so quiet today. The pandemic.
There are still bits and bobs filtering through though.
But it's not how it's been on previous deadline days. It's been very quiet. The lower league clubs have done a lot of business, I've noticed, as per usual, but the Premier League, it's not been on that, on that level that it normally is, I find. But
yeah, what did you think of Liverpool West Ham? Just going back to the last couple of results from the weekend. I was gutted that we conceded, to be honest. I thought it was a bit soft that we conceded that goal, to be honest. I thought we had a clean sheet.
I was thinking about you when he scored that, when Dawson got his head on it. But do you know what I find with Alisson?
My TV I had on it.
Jesus, like, he comes out for those headers, doesn't he? He's like a sweeper keeper, isn't he? But sometimes you think, Alisson, you didn't really need to do that. It's just a bit of shock and awe, I think. But yeah, I think, do you know what, Mike? It still doesn't take the gloss away. I think going away, Moisey's been picking results up. I think that's a very good result for you, lads. Because you've been struggling. I think that's a very good statement of intent for the red side, the Merseyside, definitely going there at the moment. And yeah, the goal, conceding the goal, mate, but you've gone there and won. You've took the 3 points. I think you should be happy.
Mo Salah's goal, the second one, was absolute cracking goal. Did you see that at all when he passed it right into it and put it in the bottom corner?
Yeah,
on the keeper? That was a belting goal. Yeah.
See, he's got 15 goals for the season now. How long's Mane out for, Mike?
I've not heard, to be honest. I've not heard the information regarding that, but it seemed a bit of a random one. The team they picked when I first saw it the other day, I was just like, I was bemused for a moment seeing Origi being brought back in, because he's had similarly has not had great performances when he's been brought back in, but he seemed a lot better this week, and I think he could do with getting a goal if he's going to be playing again in the next couple of weeks. Be good to see him get a goal and get a bit more confidence back, because he does flourish when he's got a bit of confidence about him.
going back to Chelsea, just while we've got it in the graphic there, that was a good result. That was a good result because Burnley obviously beat Villa at Turf Moor midweek. How they were kept in that game because of Nick Pope, but Chelsea, Tuchel, who I'm a bit sceptical about as manager, if I'm honest. He's brought Marcus Alonso back in the team. He was out in the cold, wasn't he? He's adjusted the team a little bit. Kai Havertz is on the bench, so I don't know. Is he gonna rotate a little bit, or has he got a set team in mind? But yeah, Marcus Alonso back. That was the one for me when the teams were announced on for that one on Sunday. I was like, oh, he's going with Marcus Alonso. He couldn't get a game under Lampard.
That's it. Well, he scored a cracking goal, didn't he? He scored the second, and it was a belter. And Azpilicueta, who was the captain for Chelsea in that game, he did pretty well for himself. I think they've. You were talking about Kai Havertz. I think him and Timo Werner have both not really shone for Chelsea so far. They were like big signings over the summer, and people were raving about them. But Timo Werner missed an absolute sitter against Burnley at the weekend. Really bad miss, and I think he's
Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, right? He was playing up top for Leverkusen last season for a lot of games. So I think they could try him up top. He's good. He's good in the number 10. He's good in the whole free role as well. Timo Werner, something's got to click. The amount of goals he was putting away for Leipzig, and not just domestically in the Bundesliga, he was scoring goals in Europe as well against the elite teams. I think there's just the confidence has gone. But yeah, you've got to be expecting him to be putting away them chances, Mike, as you say. He's a proven goal scorer. Yeah, it takes a bit of time to adjust, but I think that them two lads will come good in the long run. And Tuchel will have known him from the Bundesliga when he was at Dortmund. I think they will. He'll bring Havertz in from out the cold, definitely. I think going forward, but it's just I do not see how he's going to impact that team. I might be wrong here. I'm a bit sceptical with Tuchel as manager. Because
what do you think about the treatment of Lampard, Stu? What did you think about his dismissal?
He needed longer. I think I echo what a lot of people were thinking. It's too short time frame. You know what I mean? He needed at least another 18 months. The problem is they're spoilt for choice with the players they've got. They've got some fantastic players throughout that squad. Callum Hudson-Odoi's getting games now a bit more regular. It's Tammy Abraham, Giroud's good on his day, but Tuchel might have it in mind now with who he wants starting. Did Lampard rotate the players a bit too much as well? He did a lot of chopping and changing with the back line. I just think it was a bit unjust. I think he needed a little bit more time, but they obviously want results, and Tuchel's going to have to do something, Mike.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say Lampard had done great the previous season when they had the ban on transfers, didn't he? And he brought the youth through, but then they've not been as impressive this season at all. I don't think, and some of the matches I watched them, they're they're not as exciting. Have we got any Chelsea fans in the comments at all who'd like to out their thoughts? I don't know many Chelsea fans locally round by me, Stu, to be honest, but there must be a few out there. So let's hear from them. What's your opinions? What did you think about Lampard getting the sack, and how's this new manager going to perform? Is he somebody who's going to make your team better?
Justin Clapper is the correct team, goalie or keeper. And Lewis has replied in the comments. Lewis Young's replied both. Yeah, you can say
both. You can say both.
You can go with both, Clapper. Yeah,
keeper.
Yeah, I've said both before now. So yeah, just it'd be interesting this last half an hour of the window, Mike. Anyway, apparently the Josh King saga continues as well. My cousin has put in the comments it's a 6-month deal for King, but that could be from Fabrizio Romano. So we'll wait for true confirmation on that one.
I heard though that he'd been offered a ladder match at AEW if he signed for Fulham.
and they can fly into Jacksonville in the NFL stadium as well once he can fly over. Yeah, bloody hell. Just get it. It's Everton. It has to be a saga. I know I keep harping on about it, Mike. Come on, get him signed. Get him signed, Carlo. Brands, come on. Let's get it done.
Hey, look at this saga that I found today. I found this kicking about today. Did you ever read this, Stu?
I can't say I have, Mike. You like these footballing autobiographies, don't you?
I like to read a good book. Yeah, that's not one of them.
Get your wrestling ones, mate. I prefer the wrestling autobiographies. I'll read some of the football ones like that.
The good thing about Crouchy is that he can't take the mick out of himself. He's not
a bad pundit, Crouchy, as well. I don't mind him doing the punditry. To be fair, he's pretty solid.
Yeah, and his advert.
Yeah. And then when he was getting in trouble when he drew out United and Liverpool in the cup off Abby Clancy's old man, that was quite funny as well. So there we go.
We are about
we've got
the love
half an hour left on the transfer
wrestling.
deal. It's just coming through about Joel Matip.
To re-watch our
So we're
favourite
halfway through,
wrestlers'
Stu.
moments. To live and breathe through the eyes of their
Are you muted,
opponents.
Stu?
I swear I'm going to come at you like the pit bull that everyone thinks I am. I'm going to come at you harder and tougher than you've ever experienced before.
Under my belt and prove to people that I'm not just a model, that Mariah May is more than just a pretty face and they can't just kick me around. I actually can prove myself and I can wrestle, and I worked hard to be here.
So it sounds like scared. I love it. I don't care if you don't want to step in the ring with me, John Scott, is it? I remembered your name. You get my name right, hey?
It is an absolute joke that you would stand there and ask us that question, that anybody here thinks they even have to ask us that question, and that anyone out there would doubt us. So the next time you want to ask me that question, just read the fucking tweet and the context. You're wasting our time. Thank you.
Hi, and we're back for the last half an hour, Michael, of the transfer deadline day special. There we go. So
Excellent.
he is coming to us. I think the listeners and viewers are going to be absolutely you're going to hear the end of this now. Josh King is coming to Everton. I've had it from my cousin, Chris Hume, fellow Evertonian. He's been piping it through. It's come from Mark McAdam, who does all the transfer stuff on Sky. Does like the transfer daily and all that sort of stuff. So yes, finally, we don't have to just be worrying about Calvert-Lewin not getting any service. I'd go 2 up top, Mike. Now I think we've got our man. Let's see how he gets on for the next 4 months, and then could lead to a deal. He's 29. He's 29 now, so I'm happy, Michael. I'm happy with that one.
Be interesting to see, mate. See what you can pull out the bag. I think James Rodriguez has been a big signing for you this season as well. He's the Colombian. He's been great, to be fair, in some of your games.
Just need some players around him sometimes. It's hard. It's hard because he is, he's the general in there, isn't he? The ball is his eye for a pass. You can't, world-class player at the end of the day. That's it. You know what I mean? He does. And there was people critical. People were critical when he came on, Real Madrid and all that. But I think, I was critical a couple of weeks ago. But as my cousin said, he'd just come back from an injury when we played Rotherham. So you've got to take that into consideration. But we need more players. But he's obviously not going to get them in this window. But it's something. We've got someone who can hopefully get a few more goals, take the pressure off the midfield, take the pressure off DCL. Definitely.
Yeah, interesting point here. Paul Merson claims that Hussein Kabak's agent deserves a knighthood after the deal that got done today.
Moose is on early, wasn't he, today? Just he's saying to the reporter, me and you could get in the team at the moment and just sit on the bench. In relation to Dele Alli, because that was a bit of a saga, wasn't it? I know we've heard about.
Well, that's it. That's where I was going to go next, because obviously I was looking forward to speaking to John Scott, who unfortunately couldn't be with us this evening. I hope everything's okay with John. But I think I'm looking forward to hearing what is going on with Dele Alli. From what I've heard, he wanted to go to PSG. Is that right? I think
John Scott will agree, mate. I think after the showing last night, you've got to give him a go, because then there was talk of Eriksen. Eriksen might come back, but he's got to give Ali a go. Gareth Bale hasn't been up to much.
He's been quiet, hasn't he, so far?
I know he's had the injuries and stuff like that, but when he came off, he brought him off. Something wasn't right, so I don't know. But maybe he's going to get a run now. He's kept hold of him after all the speculation, the last 3 or 4 months about him going. So you'd have to say, if you were a Spurs fan, surely you got to play him, because what's he getting paid a week, Mike? What's the lad on?
Ridiculous. It's
just you're going to get into that. You're going to get into that Mesut Ozil scenario. All right, he's not on 350 grand a week, but they need to play him. I'm
still
sure
money, Stu. It's all going somewhere. So
get him. If I was a Spurs fan, I'd want him played, because Brighton controlled it last night. They were very good. Graham Potter deserves a pat on the back. He really does, because he's not had mega bucks, has he? And we'll see what this Casado's like. I go back to Casado because he was highly touted to come to United. Everton allegedly were looking at him. He 4.5 million, and that's a good bit of business. Let's see what he's like. And they said we heard you were going to loan him, Graham. And he said in his press conference, he's like, no, he's staying. He'd be straight in. I think he's going to be straight in Brighton's 11 in the middle, because he said we haven't got that type of player, what he can give. So through the centre of midfield, my cousin's high on him as well, Mike.
Is this the chap doing the great? Is this the chap I had doing the great interview on Sky Sports?
Do your impersonation of him, Mike.
I was just getting ready to come on. I just heard him do this interview, and they went to him and he just said, "I look forward to playing for Brighton," and that was it. And then he's just still standing there, and they just cut to me like, "About a few words there."
Well, he might possibly need an interpreter. Look, Bielsa's not learned the lingo, has he? I know he's old. I know he's in his 60s, but I'm sure the lad will be well versed in English. Very
there you have it.
He can have his interpreter beside him, Mike. A lot of them do these days. So
fair play. Stu, tell me about Maitland-Niles. What's happened with Maitland-Niles?
Right.
Have you followed that story at all?
Maitland-Niles, I think there was about four clubs going after him initially, or touted that they were going for him. Whether it was hearsay or whatnot, I don't know.
Was it Southampton wanted him in defence?
Yeah,
and he wants to play midfield.
He sees himself as a central midfielder. I've seen him play fullback for Arsenal. You know, he's obviously not in their plans at the moment. Good signing for West Brom. I would say if the other clubs, you know, if Southampton were looking at him, if that, you know, it's to beat Southampton to get him, they need everything they can get at the moment. I just can't see Big Sam getting them out of it. I just cannot see for the life of me how it's going to get sorted out, Mike. I just can't. I think, you know, they needed a few more bodies in maybe. Big Sam's normally good at finding players that you haven't necessarily heard of. He's done it for, you know, for a long time as he's brought players in. But I see that bottom three the same. But Maitland-Niles will play week in, week out now, won't he? And he'll probably play in his preferred area of central midfield. So yeah, it's a good signing for them. But I just don't see him getting out of this battle.
And Leicester were looking at him as well, weren't they? But
what? Why?
Arsenal weren't happy to sell him to Leicester because
they're a competitor. I'm not being funny, Mike. Arsenal, yeah, they've picked points up, but they're still not going to catch Leicester. They're too far ahead. Like, but Leicester, I don't necessarily think Leicester need him. I don't see why they would need Maitland-Niles, to be honest with you. Damari Gray's gone. He's gone
to buy Leverkusen, wasn't it?
That's a good bit of business. That I followed Leverkusen.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Yeah,
you stole the words out of my mouth there, Stu. That was my next point. A good signing. A good signing for them. You know, the lad, he's got pace, and he'll probably do all right in the Bundesliga. I thought that was a good bit of business. They've took Timothy Fosu-Mensah from United as well. He's been signed. And there's somebody else, can't think off the top of my head now. They've done a bit of business, Leverkusen. They've been struggling since the break. You know, they always have this issue, Leverkusen. When they come back after the winter break. The winter break.
They were right in there with Leipzig and Bayern. They've drawn a few, but they've lost a couple as well. So yeah, just to make light of the German business, you know.
I definitely I'm not a fan of having a winter break in the Premier League. That would not, because I find Liverpool the same after internationals. After we come back from internationals, we have one or two games where we just don't look at the same as we did before we went away.
Friends of ours had the German satellite, and what used to happen was they'd play like indoor tournaments, the German clubs, you know, through that break, and it'd all get played out live. So they do 6-a-side. Chris will probably say something in the comments now. He'll remember it. Yeah, on the old BSF. But I'm going off the transfer deals here.
On the Samba pitch. Go on, Stu. Tell us what else. What else have we got?
Jürgen Klopp, Kabak. Is there anything else coming through now, Mike? Any
about nothing exciting at the moment. Just Maitland-Niles back up. Danny Rose will not be leaving Tottenham.
Yeah, but he's not going to play though, is he? Surely they would have just, unless they want him as cover, Mike. But the lad couldn't get in the team.
Just looking there, what else we've had? What about what have been your favourite transfer day deadline transfers in the past, Stu?
Peter Odemwingie.
He was on earlier.
Yeah, he was talking about Harry, wasn't he? Well, not being late, showing up and all that. It's quite funny, actually, isn't it? It's like what goes around comes around. But he wanted that move to QPR. It's just funny how they had him in the car. I'm going down there. I'm going to make my move. And I think another one with Harry Redknapp, Benjani, when they'd done the deal to sell him to City. When he was down at Portsmouth, and he didn't. I don't want to go, boss. No, Benji. The plane tickets are sorted. You're going.
You're going, mate.
He's like, you've got to go, Benji. No, boss. I want to stay here. He's like, no, Benji. It's City have come in. We've had the money was on the table. He went like that. I'm trying to think of some others. There's been so many.
Hey, Harry Redknapp's had some of the best ones, hasn't he? There was the one when they were talking about when he signed Carnu. And they were saying about getting him on the plane after the match, and he had to have an injection in his back or something, and they had to carry him on the plane and lie him down in the aisle. And then when they said, how old is he? And it turned out he was 52 or something. He'd been at them for like 5 years. Portsmouth on the books.
The latest on the Josh King saga, I've got a screenshot here off my cousin, Alex Crook. whoever he does the coverage for. Josh King is a done deal. Permanent transfer until the end of the season with a view to a longer term deal. Could be worth 5 million. 29, you know, one in 3 average in the Premier League for goal. I'm happy with that, Michael. 5 million. It's toes and toes.
If you can change to a 4-4-2 or whatever instead of what you have been playing, then it could come good for you towards the end of the season.
He is so set now with 3 central midfielders, but you know, if we're not scoring, Mike, he might have to go with it. But like we were saying as well, me and my cousin, Richarlison's off the boil, you know, and Carlo's come out and said he's lost it a little bit. He needs to find the form again. They just gave
he was very aggressive at the start of the season, wasn't he, Stu?
Oh, Michael, come on now. Come on,
big.
yeah. I was waiting for you. Yeah, but you know, just I just think we've got a lot of dead weight. Mo Besic, as we were talking about earlier, me and my cousin. It's just that there's a lot of people on wages at the club still. I'm surprised he hasn't gone on loan somewhere, even if it was like someone in League One or somewhere like that. There's a lot of work to be done at Everton. It's been an odd day today for me. Just they can't throw the money around like they normally can do.
Jesse Lingard to West Ham's an interesting one, Stu.
Well, you know, is he? They got.
Wasn't getting a game at United, was he?
In midfield, they're pretty. That midfield's pretty decent. I know they weren't too good against you, but. Mate, like to say, sit on the bench and wait, or playing the under-23s for United. So it's like Ashley Young. Ashley Young's been ever present probably at Inter Milan since he's gone. So maybe the same for Jesse Lingard, like where they get the game time.
That's it. I was just looking through a list, Stu, as well of the 11 biggest deadline day transfers. So I'll just run through those with you, see which of these you remember and what your opinions are of these. So number 11's a big one because it's Luis Suarez from Ajax to Liverpool for 22 million. That was in 2011. That was a huge transfer for us.
He was always a go-to before he went to Ajax on the Footy Manager, Championship Manager, and all that sort of stuff. Groningen, before he made the move to Ajax, used to sign him on the managing games. But yeah, brilliant signing. Had a bit of he liked biting people, didn't he? He's got over that. And then I remember the to do with Evra as well when the races and stuff. But he was a bit of a hothead, wasn't he? He scored you the goals. He scored you the goals. There's no two ways about it, Mike. You know.
I used to work in an Italian restaurant, Stu, at one point, and him and his family used to come in because we had a few staff who spoke Spanish, so they used to come in to have dinner, and he was a really nice, polite guy when he used to come in and everything. And then, just sometimes he just had a few moments of a bit of aggression on the pitch, didn't he? But great player. I'll tell you an interesting story. I went to, I think it was Stevie G's testimonial, and for the second half, they had Suarez and Torres up front for Liverpool for Gerrard's team.
Different class, Mike, obviously.
So that was great.
They banged a load of goals in that one, surely.
I think it was 2-2 in the end. They were terrible. But
I thought it would have been a goal fest.
I seem to remember Didier Drogba was playing and had a cracking game. him and Balotelli with the other strike force were smashing him in.
I'm just looking through now to see.
But
has anything else gone through?
Nothing exciting at the moment on our ones.
Richard put down on the scrolling thing there before. He was saying about Said Benrahma. West Ham have made that deal permanent now. So
that from Brentford, was that?
A couple of days ago, though, wasn't it, when it was finalised? But he's made the step up from Brentford. So it'd be interesting to see now he's been signed permanently. See, he's got to justify his price tag. They haven't really got a recognised striker. Antonio can play there, but it's not his natural position. I know they can put Yarmolenko in when Antonio was tiring, but Sebastian Haller just wasn't prolific enough, was he? But they took a hit selling him back over to I think it was Frankfurt, wasn't it? Gone back to Germany to Frankfurt. 20 million. They've made a loss on him. So yeah, Moyes plays to a system, but it's just they haven't got a recognised striker. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Just to let you know, Stu, as well, there's about 8 minutes, 50 seconds left of the transfer window before it closes. I'm not sure if there's any other big deals getting put through at the moment, but I'll just run through a few of the other biggest signings of all time on deadline day. So Cuadrado was a big one for 24 million to Chelsea from Fiorentina in 2015.
He didn't really hit the height, so did he?
Didn't make it. What about you ever heard of Wayne Rooney?
Yes, Michael. I knew where Michael. I knew he was going. 2003, because I went to some games that season. We finished 17th, and he ran the games, Mike, and we were all for that season. Didn't have the players around him. It was Moyes' first season, and then after Euro 2004 just cemented it. It was just evident, and at the time we got good money. We got good money for him at that time. You think back 2004. It was like 20 odd million plus the add-ons, wasn't it? So he was just, at that point, he was just too good for the squad. He just stood out. You know what I mean? And we weren't playing well. And brilliant. He did brilliant for United.
He did well when he came back to you again, didn't he? Didn't he score a hat-trick in one of his games?
Don't forget, Mike. He played in centre mid for some of them games as well. He got moved around. He didn't play. He didn't play up top all the time. Bit like what happened with, I know, Derby Championship level. He was in centre mid, but then obviously he took the manager role. But when he was at our place, when he came back, he put the shifts in, and it was good to see him back for that little stint, And then obviously DC United came in with the big bucks in America. But yeah, all good.
See the breaking news that Wright Phillips has joined Stoke from Man City on a free transfer.
So obviously,
Sean Wright Phillips, young lad.
Well, he comes from good stock, doesn't he? That'll be interesting.
Exactly.
They've signed a lad from Rochdale today, haven't they, as well? City. They've got a couple. They've got a couple of young. It's a young player again, so they're obviously looking for academy. Saying that, they've got the academy. You think they'd be cultivating the talent in house, but I suppose 125,000, and if he turns out to be something special, it's a good deal.
Minamino's proposed loan move has been submitted, so that's big business for Southampton.
Mike, how long had he been watching Minamino Klopp, or did he just base it off that Champions League game that you played him in? Was that
played him in Red Bull, didn't he? And he was great. But he hasn't brought that form to us, unfortunately.
Do you know what, though, mate? He has been. To be fair to the bloke, he has been in and out the team. He's been in and out the side. He hasn't had a sustained run in the team, I don't think.
No.
But hopefully he can do all right there and show Klopp his worth.
Yeah, it is just a loan deal, isn't it? That so there's potential of bringing him back.
Just wants to see him week in, week out, maybe. But be an interesting one. That Southampton haven't been getting the results recently. They've slipped a little bit. They have the most clean sheets. I don't know if that's still the case, but up until a couple of weeks ago,
they were looking really exciting to start the season, weren't they? And a couple of teams were.
All those teams, I'd put them in. They're up there. They're like Everton. We're all very similar. We go on a little run, and then we get beat when you don't expect to be beaten. It's just needs the fans, Mike. I'm afraid. It does need fans. It wouldn't be like this.
Difference maker. Is a difference maker.
The league wouldn't be how it is now. It would not be. I guarantee it. Your top
I think VAR would be different as well.
Yeah.
Imagine the reaction at matches.
I can't wait.
VAR decisions.
I can't wait to go back to the game. I know that's probably a long way off, and it'll be limited numbers, but I think people, the fans will appreciate it a bit more. I found with Everton the last couple of years, there wasn't much of an atmosphere. I think it could be dead. It could be dead some games. It wasn't the old Goodison crowd. It's a bit odd because we were famed. Like you come into Goodison, it's the fiery cauldron. But yeah, I've noticed the last couple of years, it just and people are quick to moan. There's a lot of moaning going on. All right, they pay their ticket money, but is there anything else coming through? Got any more?
That's the nature of it, though. You do find people if they're not picking up trophies and results, they're not happy. What was that, Maximilian Manchard?
On loan from Fulham.
We're down to 4 minutes left of a deadline. Are we going to have anything exciting happening, do you reckon?
Going off today, Michael. I just think it's just not been how it normally is.
It's not quite the same this year, is it?
We
There's not going to be any Fellaini's or Berbatovs going today.
We wouldn't
Robinho, maybe.
We wouldn't be flying around different topics. We've gone off the transfer topics because we've had to. We wouldn't. If it had been chock-a-block today, we'd had so much to talk about.
I would have been like Chris Kamara here, missing people getting sent off and everything.
It's just, I'm just glad we've managed to get him in. I've said at the top of the hour, like, you know, I'm just glad he's managed to. I really thought he was going to Fulham. You know that law of London players like to be in London, don't they? I was like, here we go.
And have Fulham got anybody? Is what I want to know.
Mitrovic played on the weekend, didn't he? But he's just not. I think they were expecting to score the goals, and they let Abubakar Kamara go. He's gone out on loan, so they're probably hedging their bets on Josh King, letting him go.
At one point earlier, they were looking at somebody from Bordeaux, striker from Bordeaux.
I think. Do you know what?
Lossell's left Everton to.
Yeah, he went a couple of days ago, Lossell. He just hasn't. He went back to Huddersfield on loan. We've loaned him out twice since we've had him. He ended up being third choice keeper. He's probably fourth choice, actually. We've got a young lad, Yao Virginia, Portuguese lad, who's probably in ahead of him now. He's been trying to get people off the wage bill because he's had to. We need the conkers for the players, and but I thought Bernard was going to go.
Are you a fan of Bernard?
He's just not.
No go.
You need upper body strength, Mike. You need in the Prem. You do. He was meant to be going. I think it was like Far East club. We're looking at him, but you know he's on 120 grand a week. But as I said before, we got him on a free, so they give him the big bucks. But yeah, the 110% player, just not strong enough on the ball. He's not built. He's not. You don't get the time on the ball, do you, Mike?
Is this the slowest final hour of a transfer window? I would say potentially. I'd say potentially could very well be. Yeah.
I wonder if it's been slow for the viewers.
I think David will have thoroughly enjoyed it.
Probably felt like we've been watching it for 2 hours, Mike.
Mate, I've enjoyed it. It's great to chat to you about footy. Good to hear about your team, and your knowledge is brilliant. It's a shame the other lads couldn't join us this evening.
I've missed John Scott.
I would have liked to have heard his opinions about Tottenham, especially about the Dele Alli thing, but we didn't catch up about that. I'll just let you know, Stu, as well, there is 1 minute left, so any other deals are going to have to get done in the last minute. Is there anybody driving around the UK now to try and get signed to the ground?
You should have got in your brother's Mercedes, mate. We got him to pull up. You should have done that outside.
Prenton Park. I'm sure Lee McAteer's invested in what's going on at Prenton Park this afternoon. My only other bit of information, the only thing who they got, sorry?
David Nugent signed for him. I checked. Do you know how old he is? Because you feel like he's been around for so long, playing for Preston. I remember David Nugent, like Burnley. He was at Burnley, wasn't he? He's had a few clubs, hasn't he, over the years? They've got David Nugent in Heighton Ball as well, isn't he? So yeah,
Jay Spears playing for them. We're on a 10-second countdown now, Stu, for the deadline day. We're coming up to it.
Come on, Rich. Fire up some stuff on the ticker. There's got to be something coming.
That's it. The window is closed. That's it. Done. Did we get it for the last 5 minutes? I think Maitland-Niles is the big one. That's it. Job's a good one.
Josh King was the big one.
That's huge for you. There was interest, Chelsea interested in Haaland earlier. I heard about that, but I don't think that's happened, does it?
He's not going to. There's only
maybe in the summer.
There's only a handful of clubs. He's going to be there. He's going to be at Dortmund for a while. He gives you something different than each other. I mean,
I was going to ask. Well, we've got a couple of midweek matches, Stu. What have you got coming up this week?
We've got fixtures. You're asking me now? Sorry.
Yeah, just for this week.
We've got Leeds. We've got Leeds away. So
that'll be a tough game.
It will be tough, and it was going to be tough weeks before, but even more so now. And then United which I think's February the 8th. It got moved. We were on for the 7th of Feb. And then Tottenham in the cup at home. But we're better away. We're better on the road, Mike. We haven't been great at home. I think we've lost 5 or 6 at home now. So they've got to get it sorted. But that's why Carlo's the 3rd highest paid manager in the league.
That's it.
He's getting paid the bucks. So it's got to, he's battle tested. He's got a lot of experience. He's got to do it. I want some silverware, Michael.
That's it. You need some, Stu.
Benidorm watching the final in '95 with me chocolate milk in the Wookiee Hollow in Benidorm. That's what I was.
I was in Ibiza when that match was on. I stayed in the swimming pool. I wasn't watching Everton Man United.
Chris has been great tonight, feeding me the information through here. Alan's back for the United game, so that's a big.
Oh well, there you go. That's a big point for you.
Could do with him on Wednesday night, really. But yeah, at least just give us a bit of bite in the middle. He doesn't go home when you're ready, lads. Thank you very much, everyone, for this transfer deadline day special. Powered 4 added time with me and Mike Angus.
We haven't had many transfers, but we've had a good chat about the footy, and we're looking forward to coming fixtures. And we'll see you on Sunday night. We've had some predictions already made, so we'll be there.
Let's see. That was weeks ago. That's it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Added Time from Powered 4 TV. This is going to be a brand new weekly live football show. It's going to go weekly in a few weeks, so this is like the pilot test episode. That's why we've dragged Mike in off the streets, you see, just to help him. Just to help us get
We've
through.
We've got a
this
shell suit on. John Barnes nearly ran me off the road the other week, but we won't go into that.
If we can have a look at the current league table as it stands right now, please, Mr. Producer. There it is. Look at that.
Hey.
Seamless transition. No one can read it because unless you're the borrowers. Let's have a look here. So,
just to go off on a tangent a bit here, right? You know when BT Sport have Peter Walton in as like a ref in a ref watch capacity.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this, it's that, and all that. Yeah, it's all well and good. You sat there in the studio, sunshine. But what were you like when you were on the pitch and you had to give a decision? Total different. You can't. He can be sat watching a screen like the rest of us. Yeah, it should have been this, it should have been that. He was one of the worst refs in the Prem. I remember loads of times we got screwed by Peter Walton.
Americans are loving their soccer. Stu, you were saying this just the other day. Stu, didn't you predict that USA would win the World Cup by
no, right.
Fulham, I don't know. I don't think so.
I think Fulham were hedging their bets on Mitrovic. He can do it at championship level week in, week out. He can do it for Serbia.
Yeah, I think they're after a striker, aren't they, in this window? I think they're looking to bring in somebody from AEW to as well. I'm hoping producer Rich will have these scores down for us so that we can come back. So we definitely will have forgotten by then. It's like 3 weeks away. So
I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Nice. John?
I'll go 1-1. Bloody hell, what are we supposed to be here? Mystic Meg, 3 weeks' time. This is about 3 games in between this.
Rich said to me, he was like, well, this is the next time we're going to be on.
Yeah.
Next time we're on, we're predicting the 2024-25 Premier League season. I've got Blackpool to win it, lads. I don't know about you, so...
He's going to take us
Isn't that the year USA won the World Cup?
Yeah.